Hello, John Barano, Tim Cusack here.
Greetings, Tim. Great to see you.
It's good to see you, even though we are on video and on laptops. Normally, you and I would be hanging out with 500 of our closest friends at a lovely luncheon right now, but because of this little virus thing, we can't do that.
Yeah, so we're having lunch via Zoom, which means that it's very low in calories, right?
Yeah, that's right. No one's going to gain any weight from this luncheon that we're currently having.
Although
No.
we're gaining a lot of weight because we're not getting any exercise. But
Yeah,
it's really amazing these times. But we carry on and we forge ahead. I have two interesting stories about music and times like these. The first is the Cincinnati Orchestra during World War II commissioned a bunch of composers to write some fanfares to uplift everybody's spirits during that very dark time. And
yeah.
one of those pieces was Aaron Copland's Fanfare for the Common Man. And then the second story that I have is about the siege of Leningrad during World War II, where the whole city was surrounded by German troops. And it lasted for more than 800 days. But Shostakovich wrote a symphony while that siege was going on.
Wow.
And they performed that symphony. People were literally starving to death, but the hall was packed for the performance. And as a matter of fact, they had so many people there, they had to broadcast it out into the streets, this symphony. And they even turned the speakers towards the enemy troops. And one German soldier said to the other, "We'll never win this war, because if they can do a symphony like this during this time, their spirit is greater than ours."
Yeah.
So that speaks to the power of art and music during pretty challenging times.
Yeah. Well, the youth programming that you do, the last concert I witnessed was late winter, very early spring, when we could still get together.
Yeah.
And kids had questions, and this was amazing. They had questions about the mood of composers, like what kind of mood are they in, or in the sort of a psychological state of mind when they compose music. And I'm wondering what you think about at this time, what kind of composing is going to be going on in lieu of what the separation that we have, the physical separation.
It'll be very interesting to hear what comes out of this. I haven't heard any music yet that's come out for orchestras, because orchestras aren't together right now.
Right.
But, I'm hoping that the music that will be written will be very uplifting, like the Fanfare for the Common Man, because it is us, the common people, that are going to get us through this.
So, what are we planning on now with the symphony to find ways to connect and to work with the youth still? What's the outlook for that?
Well, Tim, we're really concerned about the fact that a lot of kids are at home right now and they're not in classes. And so they can't connect with their teachers, and they certainly can't be coming to symphony concerts. We missed out entirely on our second Lollipops concert, where we were going to be doing Peter Rabbit. We missed out on our Access to Music concerts this year, where we bring all sorts of people who have physical capabilities or incapabilities, getting them in. And I was very sad about the fact that we missed out on our side-by-side concert with the Greenville High School Orchestra this year. But we're working on all sorts of initiatives. Our education department is putting together all sorts of educational links for high school students, so that they can see things like Leonard Bernstein's Young Persons Concerts, that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. And for the very young, we've already started two initiatives. We've started reading stories. I just saw the story that I read, Giraffes Can't Dance. And it's so cool, because as I read the story, Sean and Leah Ivory, the conductors of the Grand Rapids Symphony Youth Choruses, improvised music in back of my reading. And it is so cool.
Oh.
And then we put the words over the story so the kids can read along. That's going out. And then on top of that, we're starting our initiative with Instrument Discoveries, where we'll have various musicians demonstrate their instruments over video like we're doing today. They'll demonstrate the instruments, and then the kids will have an opportunity to get a conducting lesson from me, and they'll actually be able to conduct a virtual orchestra. We're working on that. As soon as I'm done with this video, I'm going to be working on that project.
Wow. Well, I've seen some of the videos of the musicians at home talking about their instrument and playing their. I love that stuff. One is because it literally brings me into their home. I mean, it's like, oh, they're real people, and they really have a kitchen and they have a living room, and then they're with their instrument and they're playing and they're talking, and it's just, to me, it sort of bonds that, oh, they're not that much different than I am, except they just play this instrument really well, and maybe I could too someday.
Well, you know, I think that's one of the benefits that we've had throughout all of this, and that is that this is enabling us to connect almost on a one-on-one basis with our supporters and on our audience. You know, our audiences haven't been into my kitchen yet. They're going to come one of these days via Zoom.
That's great. We're going to watch you maybe do some conducting and bake some chocolate chip cookies at the same time.
No, washing dishes. That's what I do.
Watching you wash dishes and talk about conducting. So how can people, what's the best way for folks to help? That's the bottom line, is we want to do all this for our youth. We want to do it for the community. The symphony is very involved everywhere. What's the best way for people to help?
Well, right now, Tim, we're in the 4th day of our Gateway to Music Week of Giving. And so any gifts that are made between now and May 15th, which is coming up real soon, are going to be matched up to $50,000 thanks to a generous donor. So the best way right now is to help us out financially. And then there will be all sorts of opportunities to get the word out as well.
Right. So people can just go to the Symphony website and give.
Yeah, they can go onto our website, which is at grsymphony.org/donate. Or, Tim, if people are as sick of technology as I am, they can actually use mail.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. You can get an envelope. It's called an envelope. It's a piece of paper. Yeah, and you write on it. You write an address on it. Stick a stamp. You get the lick glue, and you mail it in.
And a real person delivers it to your door.
Just wear gloves when you get it.
Right,
Kidding.
exactly.
But there's just so much need, and from you know, all over the place. There's lots of need. We understand that, but the symphony, we feed people in a way, I think, in their hearts, in their soul, in their minds, that especially the youth. Sometimes the music, as you know, it can feed people in ways that I don't know, miracles happen sometimes.
Yeah, during these times, it's the kids that I'm really concerned about, because they're not in school. And boy, just think about all those band and choir directors. How are they coping? And we've actually had many of them contact us saying, help. Yeah. What do we do? How can we send out good musical stuff to our kids? So we're involved in that.
Yeah, well, all right, folks. This brings us to the conclusion of our lovely luncheon.
It was great.
I hope everything tasted fantastic. So thanks, John, for all that you do. And thank you to the Grand Rapids Symphony for helping the youth and our entire community.
And thanks for this, Tim.
Yep, you're welcome. Bye-bye now.